In this first conversion video, which will be very short, and as will be the second, what we're going to do is make sure that we fully understand what the brief has asked us to do. Now, the brief is different to the client brief that I gave you to work with as a development object, because we're going to do this to match the requirements of the City and Guilds assignment. So we go down here to the assignment brief. You will find a lot of familiarity in terms of what is being asked for in the assignment brief and in the Mimic brief. So we've got the same things. We've got allowing for user's name, age and weight, exercise machine type, level of resistance. So we're going to have to maybe think about how we're going to change our interface to reflect these different things. Now, I was careful to make sure that we have the least amount of work to do in order to convert this into the application that you need to produce. So there's one thing there that we're going to have to think about, okay? Because I had morning, afternoon and evening, I think, on my Mimic. Right, so let's go into the table. As I said to you before, this scale is redundant. This scale is not needed because we are just scoring based on the machine and the level of resistance. We've worked out this, yeah, so it's inclined, but I think we need to change what's there instead of weighted to inclined. We've got the scores here, which are going to really reflect what we've got already, and in fact you may find that these numbers are the same when we get to it in the application conversion. Between 2 and 6, 5 and 60, we've never actually made sure that there's 2. I didn't introduce that. We'll just make sure that there is when you use it, when you get your evidence. 5 and 60 minutes. Didn't ever check the lower limit. We've also just set there. I don't think I put the lower limit in there. So at the end of the session, calories burned in each machine, which we've got. When you get the page activity, burnt in the session. Right, the network thing is a different thing, and Dan's dealing with that. Your documentation is going to be different, so you've got that to prepare as well, wherever we can. And that's it. So we're doing the work now for task 3. This is what we're converting for. We're converting for task 3, and task 3 is where you develop the prototype application and produce the technical documentation. These two must be together, and the technical documentation really depends on you having done task 2, which is the design specification. So I'm going to go through that in a minute and tell you how you're going to do that. It's going to be watch some videos, I'm afraid, so you're going to have to watch some videos to make sure that you get that done. Now here's a joke. It is expected that this task will take probably 8 hours. The development of this prototype application and production of this documentation could not possibly be done in 8 hours. Even if you were an expert, it couldn't be done in 8 hours. So anyway, what we need to make sure is that we do a single WordPress document containing all code used to implement your application, annotated screenshots of your application user interfaces, and the technical documentation. Then we move on to this one, which is the one that's going to be done somehow. I think we're going to convert this into an essay, so that's good to have that in there. So that's what we're going to do, and that's what we'll do in the next video. We will actually do the conversion so that we match the interface and we get the result that's wanted for the assignment.